But we have this video right here. This is the last video that we're gonna go through for the day. And once this is done, I'm gonna end stream. And yeah, this is a Jubilee video talking debating conservative teens versus liberal parents. Now, I already watched this video, and I do have things to say. Of course, conservative teens are just insane in this, and we got a liberal parent who's more of a leftist parent, a socialist parent, and she is mega based, and she completely destroys the arguments of the actually insane and like actually groomed. These teens are actually groomed teens. So yeah, let's start with this.
Middle ground is a social experiment that brings humans with opposing beliefs together. Experts.
All right, we don't need the intro.
Right to tell if you agree with the prompt. The government has no
True.
right to tell people
I would go up. Yep.
what to do with their body.
Vaccines.
God, you can tell conservatives. These conservatives were just so stupid, and like the vaccine arguments. Like if you heard, the abortion argument to have abortion is women like, oh, you don't, the government has no right to tell me what to do with my body. Anti-vaxxers co-opt that phrase because they're dumb and they don't actually understand that talking point, and they started saying like, oh, government can't tell me to take vaccines, my body, my choice. But they didn't care. They didn't actually care. You can tell if they cared, the guy wouldn't have told them about the vaccines. They were just being disingenuous and bad faith actors. So if you hear anybody who's anti-vax and says, "Oh, my body, my choice," they're just being bad faith.
Yeah, I don't think the government has the right to tell you what you want to do with your...
Sorry.
Okay. I stood here because of vaccines, but I know a lot of you guys probably look at me like, oh, what about abortion? Now, the thing is, when it comes to abortion, two bodies are involved. It's the woman and it's the fetus. The fetus,
the fetus, not a person.
It has DNA. It should have rights.
Cool. Wait, what do you say?
Fetus. The fetus, has a heartbeat. It has DNA. It should have...
Okay, so a brain dead person, the body is alive, but the brain is dead. They have no consciousness. They cannot come back from that. They're forever in that state. The person, the dead body, because that's what it is, has DNA and has a heartbeat. If that brain dead person was in a fire, and in a burning building, and then another person, a live person like me or like any other regular chap, who has fully feeling consciousness, fully like body autonomy and all that shit, and you only had to save one of them, which one would you save? I know I will always save the person who has consciousness, because having a person DNA and having a heartbeat is just, there's way more than that for you to be a person and to be valued as a person. You need more than that, and that's a horrible argument. And you can always say this. So, conservative, okay, let's say you have a fetus in a bowl, because they're really small, and that's in a burning building, and then you have a crying baby, okay? A baby inside its crib on, like, the other end of, like, the apartment that's, like, burning down, and you can only save one. Which one are you saving? They will always say the crying baby. If they don't, then they're just lying. They're just lying, and they're being bad faith. But they always will say the crying baby, because they know that a fetus and a crying, already born baby are two completely different things.
Have rights.
When?
Life begins at conception.
That's not when the heart's there.
Heart to beat starts at 4 weeks. It's not just...
Yeah, okay, yeah, true. He's so true. You can tell because the guy was like, DNA, and you have a heartbeat. But, life starts at conception. Then why are you talking about the DNA and the heartbeat? Mostly the heartbeat, because the fetus doesn't have a heartbeat yet because it's still forming. So, of course, they're being bad faith.
Just a clump of
or
cells.
just being dumb.
It is life. At 21 weeks, it can live outside of the womb. Abortion
Okay.
ends with murder and death.
Over 90% of abortions happen within the first 10 weeks.
That's
True.
still, I think that's not acceptable.
But
Then why bring up the 21 weeks point then?
have the potential of having life, though. The mortality rate of a fetus getting aborted is 100%. It's going to die when it's aborted.
And you're very
But-
lucky you'll never have to experience what it's like to have to make that choice.
But what if I become a father and the woman who I got pregnant wants to have an abortion? It's
Tough
going to
shit.
affect me.
You would have a
Shoot,
discussion
it's not going to affect the woman as much.
with your partner then
And you
decide
would
what
have
you're
a
gonna do
discussion,
and be
yep.
glad that you have a choice.
And if she says no, like no, I'm aborting this, then tough shit. It's gonna be aborted.
Of
to,
course,
to
but
even discuss with that partner.
Unfortunately, human nature, if you take away the option or the right to do that, then they'll find it another way.
And it will be unsafe.
And
if I
would
don't
you
have a
support the
choice-
mom? Would you support the mom in that scenario?
if the mom had an abortion or the
No,
mom went...
no, if she gave birth.
Oh, of course. I would support her. I'd say what you do is a good thing. And
No,
you
no, no, support her financially for the rest of her
Child
life.
care.
For the rest of the baby's life.
Are you talking about like, what do you mean me support her? Like as a
Somebody-
citizen or?
If
as a-
somebody has a baby,
We do have child support and it comes
Yeah.
from taxpayer money.
There's
Some of it might, but a vast majority of it does not. I talked to my dad about this, and he had to pay out of his own pocket to pay my mom child support when both of my parents got divorced. So he just straight up wrong there. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
foster care, there's adoption, there's mothers waiting.
those systems are very broken, and people
True.
all the time are trying to stop
And we're fighting to not have that as well. So it doesn't matter. You can have
funding
of
for
that.
programs like that.
Now, I want to ask you guys, do you support...
Of course, he's trying to move off of the dumb fuck shit he just said about like child support comes from taxpayer shit. They should have really held his ass on that, because they would have gotten so much dunks on him, because that was like one of the most brain dead things I ever heard in my life.
vaccine mandates?
Yes.
So I mean, you step forward and said the government shouldn't tell you what to do with your body, though. Why would you support...
My issue is that I believe that the government should not be able to tell me what to do with my body, but I have to accept the consequences for the choices that I make with my body. The vaccines, for instance, I absolutely felt that everyone should get vaccinated. Why? Because this was a pandemic. But if you don't want to, I don't think the government should have to tell you that you have to. But you then have to suffer the consequences of your choices, which means you cannot patronize certain places. You can't put other people at risk.
I know you're saying they're doing it to protect us, but the coronavirus has, I think, a survivor rate almost 98%, 99%.
Cool. What about the 2% of people that are dying? That is thousands upon thousands of people. Do you just not care about thousands and thousands of people?
And we're mandating these vaccines. Why are we not mandating the flu?
What's frightening to me is
Because the flu isn't as contagious as COVID. Because that's the reason why.
that you're equating some minor inconveniences in your privileged life to
Why would you assume my
an
life is privileged?
unsupported.
Oh, he's
why
so
would you say my life-
triggered. Oh my god, it's so easy to trigger conservatives. It's so easy and so fun. Holy shit, he got so triggered. It's so
privileged,
good.
though. You don't know my life. I mean, I don't say that about you. Why would you assume my life is privileged?
I'm privileged.
Okay, that's fine, but why would you assume my life is privileged?
For one, you're a man.
True.
You know, most people commit suicide are men. Most people who work in dangerous work.
They don't care. I debunked this as well. The reason why men commit suicide a lot is because of toxic masculinity. You know, toxic masculinity says you have to have like a woman at all times. You have to have like a good paying job. You have to be like super emotionless and like be this stoic fucking big character. Not everybody can do that, and people like that are not able to do that and feel like they're not normal, feel like they're failures, end up committing suicide. But that's toxic masculinity. That's the issue with that. And conservatives would never ever agree to that. They will never ever agree with that. So they just don't care. They just always bring up that point just to like shut you down. But then when you talk to them and actually try to like give a solution on how to like fix that issue, they just don't want to talk about it because they actually just do not care.
Places are men. Most people who fight in war are men.
And who said
Hey,
that's
what's up, Cringe Lord? What's up? How you doing, man? How you doing this fine evening?
the system up?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask the disagreeers to step forward.
Well, I think I give a unique perspective on this because I actually do agree with the vaccine mandate. I think COVID was just a huge disaster, and I think it could have ended a lot sooner if things were more organized.
Definitely. As far as whether the government should intervene on people's bodies, I think there are a lot of instances where the government should. One, to protect the society in general, especially in cases such as a pandemic where the disease could literally wipe out cities. In other instances as well, such as drug use, I think the government should intervene because when you have a society that's addicted to opioids or crack, it spreads like wildfire, and I've seen it firsthand. It's very difficult to control without the help of government. Now, on the topic of abortion, that one's, very complex. And in general, I always want to favor a woman's right to choose. But I think there's also a very fundamental question that both of you brought up is at what point is a fetus a human or a person? Let's say a child is 8 months in the womb, and at that point, the baby has a heart, the baby has a brain, has legs, has arms. Do you think it's okay for that to be terminated?
Nobody is doing that, and nobody is having abortions with viable fetuses unless it is a medical emergency that will kill the baby and the mother.
True.
My name is Ben. I'm a business consultant for a telecom company.
Yeah, that's kind of true. The only times I felt depressed and stuff was because I'm not meeting the expectations of what a man should be. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I felt like that too. I feel like, especially today, more than any other time in America, more men are feeling that way. Because a lot of, if you don't know, there's like studies out there that are like, there's more male virgins today than there ever was, and male virginity is actually increasing today. So that's gonna lead to more people like being depressed and stuff. So yeah, so hopefully we can fix that. That is a problem with capitalism though, and so hopefully we can fix that issue later down the line. But yeah.
And I'm a liberal dad. When it comes to the abortion issue, I am not exactly sure where I stand. I am not pro-choice or pro-life.
My name is Dawn. I'm a regional sales manager for a dialysis company as well as a therapist, and I'm a liberal parent. As far as my views on abortion, to be honest, it just makes me very sad. I can't believe that we are...
Yeah, they do. 100%. Yeah, conservatives do feel like their only fully grown babies are like being aborted. And for some reason, they also think after the baby is born, the doctors actually kill and abort the baby after the baby's already outside the mother. Some conservatives actually believe that, and I'm like, bro, you're actually insane. What the hell? Praise Lord, thank you for the follow. I very much appreciate it. But yeah,
backwards by taking people's rights away to choose what's happening to their body.
Not being an LGBTQ plus ally makes someone a bad person.
It is very like aggressive words. I feel like it's way better if not supporting LGBTQ plus people's rights. I feel like that's a better wording, but I do agree with that. I would step up. That if you don't support them, if you're not being an ally, you are a bad person. Me personally, though.
It's strong, isn't it? It's a little
it's a
strong.
general way to put it. I would question someone's empathy.
That's it.
And their awareness of the other people around them, because I guarantee you know someone that's
Absolutely,
LGBTQ.
and their environment.
Right. Discussing the validity of the existence of other human beings isn't a political issue. That's like...
It's there.
There's something wrong with you if you like, no, trans people don't exist. Obviously they do. I would like to think that it's a safer world.
Yes.
To be LGBTQ, but that would be naive.
Of course.
People are getting murdered for being trans.
Yeah, last year. Yeah, I talked about this in my last video. That sadly 2021, a lot of violence against trans people happened, and specifically at Pride Month, that happened. And it might potentially be worse this year because of there's more aggressive attacks vocally. This year than there was last year, so the numbers might even be worse this year. Hopefully it isn't, but it might be looking like that.
Yes,
and gay. It's scary. I have 3 kids. I have 3 boys.
Oh.
One of them is trans. I worry
Based.
that,
Nice.
I mean, for however progressive a new generation seems, that, you know, I have to think about, will there be violence done? Which, I mean, every parent worries about violence. That's part of the gig of being a parent.
Yes.
And I've got an extra, I've got a new layer. My child is in a wonderfully privileged situation where they have a lot of support.
Okay, that helps.
Nice.
But as they get older,
As you
their
get-
circle
as
gets
your circle
wider,
gets wider,
and
you-
my sphere of influence gets less effective as
Yes.
they get older. You
Yeah.
know. Hi, I'm Cindy.
cannot tell.
I am a stay-at-home mom.
She's not a liberal. She is secretly a leftist, and she is mega based. She's been pretty based so far, but goddamn, someone got to call the base department, because holy shit, we have a new candidate to run for office.
And I am a liberal parent. One of my children came out as trans 2 years ago. Mine and my husband's response was, "That's great. Would you like to go by these pronouns? And would you like to pick out a name? Let's make sure that we talk to a gender specialist so we know what options there are, and we'll just take this one step at a time."
What's the difference between leftist and liberal? For India, politics is pretty unbiased. A liberal is someone who believes in democracy, and here's the specific thing. The specific difference from a leftist and liberal: they believe in capitalism, and they want to work pretty much within capitalism and make capitalism better, but not really like fundamentally change capitalism and keep pretty much capitalism the way it is. A leftist doesn't like capitalism and wants to have a better system, whether it be communism, socialism, anarchy, and like other shit like that. That's what specifically divides a liberal from a leftist.
We'll move forward with the best information possible.
Can the disagreeer step forward?
And also, I like to believe that leftists believe in democracy, but we have a lot of tankies, which is I do not like. I do not like tankies. They're just red fascists. But they consider themselves left leaning. That do not like democracy. I love democracy. I just don't really care for capitalism.
I can provide a unique perspective on this because I'm actually bisexual. So I think not being an ally, as long as you're not harming people, you're not harassing people, you're not posting on social media that these people suck, then I don't think you're a bad person for that.
As a Christian, I don't think that being LGBTQ aligns with God's view of the family. It doesn't mean that I will disrespect them in any way. I just think that it's a sin.
As far as your faith is concerned,
course.
what would happen
Of course, we got a religious tard over
if
here.
your child came out to you that they were gay, bisexual, trans?
I think that if the sin is not practiced upon, it's not a problem. It can be dealt with, especially.
It can be dealt with. This person has hate in her heart, but I cannot blame her because I think she's a teenager. I think she's 16 or 17. For you to believe like this and be that young, you have to grow up and be groomed, because this is grooming. Be groomed into like believing in horrendous shit by her parents. So I feel bad for her being like having like this much hate for like a group of people in her heart.
Especially with transitioning.
Because she says that it can be dealt with, which pretty much just says she wants to use conversion therapy against like LGBTQ people, which is studies has specifically said and shown that just do not help, that do not actually work. Conversion therapy does not work at all, and it's just torture. You're just torturing them, and that's it.
It usually comes from mental problems like depression, anxiety, and all those things.
So you think they can be kind of taught to not be gay?
No, I think
Pray the
it's,
gay away.
Do you support conversion therapy?
no.
She
I don't
does.
think that we can convert anyone into doing
She
anything. I would not
absolutely
ostracize
does.
my child.
She's
but
she's just too pussy to admit it.
I would not support it. Just like I don't support any sin.
So I
You don't support a sin, yet in your mind being gay is a sin. So yeah, it's not following up. She's just too scared to say what she actually believes in.
I think that if you want to be transgender,
I'd say I'm a liberal, I guess, because I'm personally more for reform over creed restructuring. Are you a leftist or a liberal? I'm a leftist. Yeah, I'm a leftist.
you could be transgender. We live in a
I don't mind liberals. A lot of leftists actually hate liberals and like don't want to work with them, which is something I completely disagree with. I think because liberals are like, other than other leftists, liberals are like our main ally, and that is the group where we can get more leftists. That's the group that we target to like convert them to believe in what we believe. But if we just completely disregard liberals and say, oh, they're bad, you know, there's no way to save them, then there's no way to grow our side, and all we're gonna do is make liberals more right leaning and against what we want. So I don't like when leftists just overall like disregard liberals.
Again, I said a free nation, but if you're asking for my opinion, I believe that men and women are completely different.
It's not a sin as long as you donate money to the church. True, that is true to them. Even then, yeah, because a lot of a lot of religious people are secretly fucking gay, especially like the super like mega churches. Like people are like super like anti-gay. A lot of them are like closeted gay people.
Different. We have different chromosomes, different bone structure. If you are a transgender woman, I still view you as a man. You could express yourself as a woman. That's fine. But I don't believe that society should automatically, say that, okay, you're a woman. Let's say, for instance, there's a 18-year-old biological man, but says that they are a woman now. They still have male genitalia. They could walk into a woman's locker room and show off their male genitalia. I don't agree with that. I don't think.
Why not? Do you think a penis? I don't know about you. Maybe he might be projecting. Maybe his dick is like so downright horrendous. But I think my dick it's pretty good. I keep it clean. I wash it every day in the bathroom. I don't think it's gonna attack anybody. Like this. I don't think women, a girl seeing another a guy's dick is gonna just automatically make them like fall over and have a heart attack. I think that's fine.
I think that's okay.
That's not happening.
This man has a Ben Shapiro body pillow. So true. I can 100% believe he's a Ben Shapiro fan, and also like a Jordan Peterson fan as well. I mean, I was raised in this sort of circle and was just like him. People can change as long as they have a diverse friend group. I've gotten hope for these people. Me too. Just like you, earlier in my life, I was a lot more reactionary. However, I think I was as most reactionary as it was. I think I was a centrist person, because even though I was like the most was like me being against feminism, but I was never against like LGBTQ people, and there's more right leaning people in my friend group, and I always like debated them on like why they hated like LGBT people, and then like to a certain point, I was just like, do I want to be like these people? Do I want to be seen like as intellectual as these people? Because you're judged by the company you keep. So I just left them. I don't pretty much talk to any of them. And I watched more debate videos. I researched more stuff, and that's how I got more left leaning.
What is happening though?
Is it really?
If you're flashing your dick in a girl's locker room, then you better get ready to gain new body dysmorphia, because those girls are going to roast the shit out of you. Yeah. But they're not. He's not flashing. If you're talking about a trans woman going into like a trans, not trans, but going to a women's locker room, she would have like, and she's not really flashing. All she's doing is changing. I've seen guy dicks, because I'm from America, and when you go into a locker room, some guys just go completely naked and just quickly change. They don't like wave their dick around against other people. Well, one guy did, but he was like, I feel like he was like a little, I'm not a psychologist, but I feel like he was like mentally not all there. But that's a very, very small amount of people that like would flash their dick around people. Most people would just like go in there, quickly try to change into their gear so nobody was see their dick. And me, I wipe my towel around my my waist and just so no one could see my dick, and no one did see my dick. So I feel like most people probably do that. No, most people probably do that.
That is literally transphobia.
It could happen, though.
It's rare, though, but-
and not even a trans. It could just be a creepy guy, like pretending to be.
Yes, creepy guys are. I'm in much more danger in a women's restroom from a cisgender straight creepy guy
I know, but
than
that,
I am a
that
trans
gives them the
person.
excuse. You know, that's what I'm trying to say.
So do you support gender-neutral bathrooms, like women and men can
Yes.
go into the same bathroom? Do you think that could increase the chances of rape or assault?
They already exist. It's interesting that men are only concerned about this rape in the bathroom when we're having a conversation about trans folks.
True, that is true. Because a lot of these like pro like men's rights stuff, when you try to debate them on why like women need feminism and like why guys also kind of need not kind of but also why guys need feminism and stuff, they always say, well, men, are like committing suicide and stuff, which is true, but the reason for that is because toxic masculinity. And then you say like women feel danger from men because they think they're gonna get like sexually assaulted by them, and the guys go like, oh, that doesn't happen. But when you talk about like transgender bathrooms or like neutral bathrooms, they always say like, oh, that's gonna raise sexual assault from two women. And I was like, okay.
But gender-neutral bathrooms just stem from this idea, though.
No, this idea that rape is going to suddenly go on the rise because of gender-neutral bathrooms stems from transphobia.
I'm Eden, I'm 16 years old, and I'm on the conservative teen side. I think that transitioning does more harm than good, and
There's no studies
I think that we
that
are
say
born.
that. Studies actually shown that transitioning actually only helps, is only beneficial, and the reason why, because they always bring up, what about the detransition? Well, some people do detransition, but it's a very small minority of them, and of the majority of that minority that detransition because it costs a lot of money and they don't have the financial power to keep transitioning. B, they're being forced by a family member to detransition. 3, they get discriminated against on jobs, so they can't get a job. And 4th, they get attacked more and sexually assaulted more too as being trans.
In the body that we're given, and we should stay that way. God has created us in his image, and
Of
I don't
course.
think we should change the way we are.
Wait, hold up. Oh, Christians always like to put that argument out. Okay, so if God created us the way we are, and we cannot change what we are, are people who are wearing glasses an affront to God? Because God made you, God made you so you can have bad eyesight. Should they live the rest of their lives having bad eyesight, or is glasses not an affront to God?
Owning a gun is a basic human right.
I would. This is a hard one. Basic human right. You know what? I think I would go up to, even though mass shootings are an issue in America, I do believe in the Second Amendment, which is the right to bear arms. I do believe in that. However, I do also agree that in America, it's way, way too easy to get guns, and we definitely need to regulate that. If God created us in his image, then why can I get bitches? Checkmate, conservative. True. No, you should flip it on it. You should, if God created us the way we are, why can't you get bitches? Why can't you get bitches, huh? Huh? God created you so you couldn't get bitches.
I absolutely hate hearing about school shootings on the
you should flip that
news
shit.
and just shootings in general. It's horrible. You know, this isn't like, Spider-Man's not going to save people. People have the right to protect themselves.
A lot of mass shooters target gun-free zones because they know there's not going to be a person who's going to fight against.
Dumbass argument, because in most areas in America are gun-free zones. Like, you can't go into a school with a gun. Most workplaces, you can't go in there with a gun. And depending on which state you live in, you can't even you can't open carry, and you can't close carry into like regular supermarkets and shit. And if you can, most people do not carry a gun with them in stores and stuff. So this is just a stupid ass argument. Like, what?
Them or shoot them back. There's a lot of mass shootings at schools.
I do.
That's
She just
because
goes to
schools
another church.
have gun-free zones. I view owning a gun as a right to defend
True.
myself.
They
You
would
look
say that. They would say that.
at countries that have banned guns in the past, the USSR, Nazi Germany, you look at China under Mao Zedong, they stripped their citizens of arms so they could oppress them. And I think the reason why our founding fathers enshrined the Second Amendment is because they wanted us to protect ourselves against tyrannical government and to protect ourselves against danger around us too.
I think that from a woman's perspective, if as a woman you get into a dangerous situation, for example, with a man, having a gun and knowing how to use a gun is the only way that will protect me. Having my tiny little pepper spray won't help me forever. I think definitely if you take away guns, the bad guys will always get their guns one way or another.
I live in Los Angeles, and LA has strict gun control laws. This is my perspective of it.
Well, yeah, the bad guys will always get guns. But that's a different issue from mass shootings. The reason why, because she's talking about like gang members and like people, poor people in urban areas. The reason why there's a lot of mass shootings in poor and urban areas is because they're poor, you know, and fixing them, giving their schools more funding, more education, stop locking up black and brown fathers in jail for like for them having like an ounce of marijuana on them, you know, and giving them more welfare actually will help crime go down, because a lot of the reason why people commit crimes is because they don't see any other way to get out in their area.
I think LA has become a more dangerous city, and I feel very unsafe walking down the street just not armed. Crime is on the rise in America, and I think one of the ways to stop crime is by...
I don't even know. Is crime on the rise? According to the 2021, the homicide rate by 5% increase, but by a smarter margin to 2022, when homicides rose by 29% in these early... And these numbers are still only half the rate to the nation's peak, yeah. So crime is rising, however, is nowhere near as high as it used to be.
Owning a gun.
I definitely think that there should be this control in place to who buys guns. You couldn't just be able to go to a store and buy a gun. There should be regulations into who buys guns and who shoots a gun.
I actually debated whether or not I was going to sit down because I do believe people have the right to bear arms. I do. My issue is what kind of arms they're bearing. I believe people should get to go hunt, but do you need a semi-automatic rifle to do that? I'll tell you personally, I'm afraid of guns personally myself.
A lot of people who don't know guns always use the word semi-automatic, and the reason for that is because they always picture like an AK-47 and picture that as semi-automatic. But like most guns right now, if not like 99 or 90% of guns, are like semi-automatic. A pistol is a semi-automatic weapon.
But I just think there need to be stricter regulations with it.
But the majority of people who die by gunshot are women in a domestic violence situation. So mass shootings definitely don't want automatic rifles. Against that, nobody needs them. But the most dangerous gun is the one in your home.
I do want to ask you a question. Do you think that women should have the right to bear arms to protect themselves against?
Yeah, I'm not against the right to own guns. The prompt was, do you think owning a gun is a human right?
But do you think?
And I don't agree with that.
In my perspective, I grew up in a gun-riddled neighborhood. I myself am a gun owner now because of the fact that I had to create some type of means of self-defense.
So why did you disagree?
I disagree because I would prefer not to be. I think it's not a human right as much as almost a necessity for a lot of people. And not everyone. There's a lot of neighborhoods that are very safe, but even in a safe neighborhood, you can be robbed, you can be killed. I've been stuck up several times with a gun to my face, you know, and all I could think of is, man, if I die, it's gonna be because I didn't have a weapon to help protect me.
Do you think that we should take away all guns from the entire world?
Yes, if there was like a magnet, like Magneto from X-Men, and he just suck up all the guns, I think that would be such a better place.
Honestly, I think I agree with that too. That's never gonna happen. We're never, ever gonna get rid of guns in the world, sadly. You know, if I could, like he said, I would get rid of every single gun in the world right now. But that's not happening, so I like to work within the system that I have right now because, you know, it cannot change. So I'd rather have, like, regulations, like not everybody can have a gun because you're not like mentally there and like you want to actively hurt people.
My political opinions have hurt my relationships with friends and family.
Ask Ben if he believes in God. Maybe they can.
During 2020, when
maybe they can.
You know,
Hopefully
America
they
got
can.
really like politically intense. And my teacher, she was very politically active, and she wanted us to speak our voices. And they found out I was conservative, and they said, okay, you're completely going against what we believe. Like the whole school is very liberal, and I guess they just kind of pushed me away.
Did you feel like you would get bullied after?
I'll just get looks. Some people come up and say, you're a racist or you're xenophobic. They would tell me, oh, do you support Trump? But I just brushed it off. I told them, hey, I respect that you think like this. Please respect me.
I think that is...
Wait, let's go back.
I told them, hey, I respect that you think like this. Please respect me.
No. We're not going to respect you. No.
I think that is... whether or not we have the same ideas, I think that is still an admirable quality.
Yeah.
Despite getting looks or feeling like maybe you don't belong, that you're still, you have your convictions.
Yeah.
So I can respect that you're convicted.
Yeah.
I think being liberal, we think of the right as being stuck in the sand. It's interesting to hear that liberals were not having his right opinion. I think that everyone should have their opinion.
Well, I think we're talking about issues.
I mean,
that
yeah,
are
but you should, if your opinion is dog shit, you should be like criticized for
a
it.
matter of opinion, but a matter of your morality, the value of human lives. I've had to personally block a few people on Facebook, family members.
Oh, wow.
Mostly men that are married to the women in my family. I'm like, hey, this conversation is really getting personal and hurtful, and if you carry on this way, I'm gonna have to block you.
Were they harassing you?
I feel very harassed. Yeah, I'm belittled.
Were you ostracized, or was there someone that you...
I think on my end, it was myself. I understand people have different beliefs, and I respect that. And I think it's good for everyone to share their beliefs. That's the way we progress. But I think when people become ignorant or offensive consistently without any type of evidence or any type of backup behind that, that's the point where I say, you know what? I probably shouldn't be friends with you, because you may smile in my face, but behind my back, you have a different sentiment.
I haven't lost any relationships because me and my friends don't really dive into politics. We kind of just play video games and talk about comics together. I think if you lose a relationship over politics, that's kind of sad.
Unfortunately, it's a part of growing
I mean,
up.
it is sad, but if the guy that you lost your friendship was like, yeah, brown people, I feel like they just have a gene in them that, that makes them more prone to violence. I'd be like, what? Huh? I'll never talk to you again. Or if you're like, yeah, gay people, I feel like they're just more, just pedophiles. They always want to sexually harass children. I'd be like, what? Huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully you won't lose any friends, but usually as you get older, you start to see those divides a little clearer.
I mean, you guys are
sometimes.
older than us. Was it like this going back 20 years ago?
Politics has changed so much, and I think you touched on it, that now it's being associated, policy is being associated with ethics. I haven't lost any friendships or relationships because I won't allow that to happen. I believe that...
Cucked. That's a cucked position. I'm always against echo chambers. That's why when people come into my chat, a lot of them, unlike you, Cringe Lord, you're actually super based, and I like you. I love you, man. Most people that come into my chat are right wingers, and they always talk shit. So I always, okay, you think you're tough shit? Debate me. I'll send you a Discord link. You can come on a voice chat and debate me. They won't because they're pussies. And if you have like a family or a friend member that's like that always like says some like horrendous shit, you have the right to cut them off, and no one should judge you for that. Or you shouldn't judge yourself for that, because you're supposed to cut off people that like do not help you in any way, and those people are harming you. So yeah, that's a cucked position. If you're like, oh, no matter what they do, I'll never cut them off. My friends hate me because I believe in eugenics. I can't believe they're so close-minded. True. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people say that. So much for the tolerant left. That's Nick Fuentes. What's his name? Little nerd asshole. John Doyle, and then Matt Walsh, and like other people like that. They always say, "Why don't you respect my opinion?" Yeah, I think transgender people should be hanged by the neck, but so much for the tolerant left. I'm like, okay, buddy, okay.
The majority of us, probably about 80%, are in the middle with varying degrees. And there are those people who are very, very conservative, very, very ultra-liberal, who are the outliers.
But I think it's subtle. Where you have somebody that you meet with on a regular basis, you talk with them, you have a good time. If topics get brought up, and it's a oh, okay, you're one of those. They don't tell you that to your face, but it's kind of subtle.
And also, I think with the prevalence of social media, people's opinions are a lot more out there.
I never understood why anyone posted political opinions on social media. I think it's just annoying.
Well, I have 3 kids. They know more about politics than I did
know.
when I was voting age.
It's annoying, yeah.
I think it's very encouraging.
No, is really good because he thinks it's annoying because more young people nowadays are way more progressive than they were before. The issue is that young people do not go out to vote, and I am upset about that. If young people went out to vote, the United States and the entire world will be in a much better place. But we don't. I do, but I know other people that are young as me, and they believe the same shit that I believe, but they just don't go out and vote. I'm like, why? Why do you like fight for change, yet do not do like one of the most basic things to like fight for change?
Because they're going to be more informed when they are of voting age.
I mean, yeah, it makes life more divisive. I mean, there's more arguments and stuff.
Yeah, because we had to take these garbage ideas and these garbage arguments out of here. And I know you're sad because of that, but you know, tough shit. Have better morals, have better arguments.
And more relationships ending because politics is such a big part of life.
Hi, my name is Scott. I am a liberal parent. I have many children. I have 4. My oldest daughter is extremely left-wing. My 2 middle daughters are roughly right in the middle there. And then
Cringe.
Chase is conservative.
My name is Chase. I'm 19 years old, and I'm on the conservative teen side. My dad's Scott. We talk about politics, mostly gun rights and the government in the economy. We disagree, but we like hearing each other's side.
The feminist movement is overrated.
Based. I like feminism. Don't get me wrong. Feminism is good. However, what she says here perfectly like resembles on why it is a bit overrated. Being political is always seen as a nerdy until the Gestapo's knocking at the door. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, America's so rich that people can't see it is a decoration, but things can go south real fast. Pun intended. Yeah, true. The January 6th shit. How literally a group of people went up to the our state capitol, ran over like to hang Congress people and to overturn a democratically elected stuff, and people in America just forget about it and just try to downplay it like it wasn't like this big deal. No, our democracy almost got ruined that day. Thankfully, they lost, and hopefully they keep losing, but they're going to try again. And that's why we need to get those people who, the politicians who supported the January 6th insurrection, we need to jail them, put them in jail forever, and get them out of office where they can never run office again and never make laws. Because if we don't do anything, they're just going to try again. And eventually, they are going to win.
The reason I sat down is because feminism as we know it in social media and the marches is generally run by white women.
True, based. That's why it is a little bit overrated. A bit. It's not not the biggest deal in the world. I still overall like feminism. It could be a lot better though.
Don't have a lot of intersectionality. Margaret Sanger.
Margaret Sanger,
Yeah,
yes.
and
Susan B.
J.K.
Susan B.
Rowling.
Anthony, you know, total racist. The women that headed up the
J.K. Rowling. Hella transphobe she is. Garbage person. And she says she's a feminist.
suffragette movement, they were not inclusive.
Of course, yes.
And they wanted rights for white women.
That's true.
And that thread has followed us to be very exclusionary to
This is
black
why she's the most based. So based. Based queen she is. But the other conservatives would just be like, oh, why do we need feminism? Women have all the rights in the world right now. Let's shut the fuck up.
women, disabled
This is the base shit that you have to say. These are the based anti-feminism takes that I like.
women, women of color, indigenous women.
I don't think that feminism in America is based off racism. The reason why there's more white feminists is because there's a higher white population in America. So generally, there's going to be more white
not really.
feminists because of that.
Nah.
I think that
Just
definitely in the
you just
beginning of
completely ignored the history that she said there.
feminism, feminists wanted votes for women, that women would be allowed to work, would be allowed to go to universities and such. I definitely agree with that, but I think that feminism has gone too far into saying my body, my choice, and saying that women are not all equal.
Yes, feminism is going too far when when women want basic human rights like the right to their own bodily autonomy. Yes, that is too far. 100%. Yes, listen to the sarcasm in my
Saying
voice.
that women are being suppressed by white men and such things.
Well, they are. They don't get as positions. That many positions that they pretty much do deserve. It's really hard for them to go up the ranks. And they do get sexually assaulted a lot. So that's pretty sad.
No, we got a long way to go. There's just not enough done.
In America or just in the world in general?
Well, America, for sure. The world in general is a heck of a lot worse than America.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think that women should be able to do everything that men can, but we also have to protect ourselves. So if you want to be a stay-at-home mom and do one of the hardest jobs on the planet, you absolutely should be able to do that. But you should also discuss with your partner and put in things into place so that you're protected if you choose to do that. Some women aren't doing that, like life insurance and things like that. I think part of feminism is being able to take care of yourself.
Capitalism is failing our society.
Oh, see? Ooh, based queen. And he's also
This,
based as well.
system-
This is why I stan her. We stan her, okay?
That just values
So good.
production, consumerism until you die. Doesn't work for anybody but a very, very, very small percentage of billionaires, and it's all baloney. The system is rigged.
Yeah, and again, like even in America, I don't blame you, Cringe Lord, for not knowing what a liberal and the difference between a liberal and a leftist, because even a lot of people in America do not know, because she calls herself a liberal, yet she agrees that capitalism is failing our society, and she even later on in her sentence that she's saying right here, she says that she wants socialism. So she's not a liberal. She's a leftist. This guy is also, I don't know if he's a leftist because he doesn't believe in like all the leftist things that most leftists believe in, but he doesn't like capitalism,
To keep workers working, and the rich just keep getting richer.
This man, he's, I don't know if he's leftist. He's just built different. You know what I'm saying? He's built different.
I think there could be some good in capitalism, which is like the innovation part of it. But in general, capitalism definitely sucks from the poor. There's a lot of industries that definitely shouldn't have any capitalism involved at all. The medical field, it's unjust that certain people get better care than other people just because they're more financially well off. Who are they to determine the value of life?
I feel like capitalism only values you for what you can provide. It's not the worst economic system, but life would be depressing if capitalism is the best thing we can have. I feel like we should reach a point where system values us for being humans. I agree. That's why I do agree with you. Capitalism is a way better system than fascism, better system than monarchy, and like other stuff that we previously had before, like feudalism, way better than feudalism. But I think we're at to a point now that you can see online that depression rates have skyrocketed And the reason for that is because capitalism tells you you only can produce. People don't really have as much time to do what they actually want in their own free time. You constantly have to be working, so you can't get really into like in a really good relationship with other people. And also, it doesn't give you enough time to get, you know, in a relationship as well. That's why a lot of people are like depressed, and that's why I like socialism, which is would not okay. I do believe socialism would not fix every single issue. I think it's a lot better system, but I know socialism has its limits. But I do like the socialism, how like the workers own the means of productions, and the workers can pretty much decide what they want to do with the company. They can vote on who is like the manager, and if the manager is fucking them over, they can go ahead and vote that manager out and put in another person, and hopefully will fix that for them. And you know, just putting democracy in a workplace, that is something that I really, really like. And it's something why I go for. That's why socialism appeals to me more than capitalism.
The healthcare system creates such profit, and that profit is created off the misery of others, of the illness of others, including the prison system, where you have jails that are privately owned, because at that point, what you have is a hotel, and you want to fill up the hotel. Why would there be a business that profits off of crime? That doesn't make any sense. If you put profit ahead of people, people are going to suffer, obviously.
So you said like only the billionaires succeed in capitalism, and I gotta disagree with that, because I'm the CEO of my own company. A couple months ago, I started a jewelry company, and I'm not a billionaire,
good for you,
but it's been relatively successful enough.
And you probably came from like a pretty good background, but I want you to know, guy, you're not most people. Most people are nowhere near as privileged as you are.
To wake
If there's a person who loves capitalism, they're probably suffering from Stockholm Syndrome. True. That is 100% true. Like, I don't understand, like, workers when, like, when I hear, like, politicians be like, you know what, we should raise the minimum wage. And then they see Republicans be like, no, keep them poor. We want them to only have making them have $7.25 an hour. And the workers that vote Republican are completely fine with that. What? You don't want more money? You don't want to make more money for the same work you're producing right now? Because you deserve more money. The work you put in, you're not being compensated for the work you're putting in. So a lot of poor people do have Stockholm Syndrome.
I can like make rent and go through college a bit, so I think there's people like me who own a small business who capitalism really benefits.
If capitalism isn't the solution, then what is the solution?
Do you want to hear it?
Socialism?
Socialism.
There you go.
The problem with democratic socialism, I mean, you talk about how capitalism hurts the middle class, but in reality, if democratic socialism was tried, the middle class are going to be paying way more taxes, not just the rich.
True. And guess what? The poor people who are being super fucked over right now in capitalism in America and in the world, they're gonna heavily benefit from it. And the middle class, they have enough money right now. Not the lower middle class, but pretty much the middle and the upper middle class. They have enough money to like survive. They can give a bit more, you know. Rich people, they are nowhere near being taxed as much as they need to, though.
See, the rich don't pay taxes because they don't work. They make.
Hold up. He just gave away the game. He knows the game. Listen to what he says.
More taxes, not just the rich. See, the rich don't pay taxes because they don't work.
The rich don't work. True. That is 100% true. They just sit back and just their capital just rises off like the suffering of the poor working class and like the low and the working class, because the working class work way more than rich people do, However, they don't make nowhere near as much as rich people do, and rich people don't even fucking work.
They make money off assets. The middle class, they work. And because they're working, they're going to
I mean, we can, we can, get a capital tax. I think that is an actual thing too.
pay more taxes under a proposal like Bernie Sanders or, I don't know, AOC or Ilhan Omar.
I personally am okay with paying higher taxes. I would love people who make billions of dollars to pay their fair share of taxes. But increased taxes for a better situation for people overall, that is exactly what I stand for.
I'm not sure that socialism is the answer. Yugoslavia
Cringe.
before World War II did okay, but they didn't do all that great, and they were taken over quite quickly.
I mean, isn't that just imperialism, though? You can't really blame socialism on that one. And I don't even think Yugoslavia was really even socialist, because I don't think the workers owned the means of production. I shouldn't say that because I don't know that much about Yugoslavia. I shouldn't say like something I don't really know too much about, but I don't think that's true.
Thinking is capitalism, although is not the best solution, is one of the best solutions for a democratic society.
Think about socialism, you think about wealth distribution. And then money becomes a very big role too, because the ones that have less money become envious of those that have more money. And then money is like, it becomes a god because you don't want anyone else to have that money but yourself. And if you, for example...
Huh? Socialism is when you treat money like a god? What? This girl has no idea what the fuck she's talking about. Because if any system treats money like a god, it's capitalism. What?
Look at the Scandinavian countries. They have a capitalistic market, but they have a socialist wealth distribution. And that's why it works over there. And I personally come from Europe, so I have seen that.
So you think that works?
I personally don't think that works. I think it takes a lot of money from the rich and from the middle class.
Wait.
And I personally come from Europe, have a socialist wealth distribution. And that's why it works over there. And
Hold up, wait. I'm gonna play that again. I'm being mindfucked. My people is Marshal Tito, the Yugoslavian leader. I think these people don't understand how big of a difference the USSR and Yugoslavia made in their people's lives. Russia was literally federalist before revolution. They didn't start at the same time, the same starting line as the US. And I know the USSR. They were not communists and they were not socialist at all. The workers did not own the means of production, and when it comes to communism, they didn't get rid of money, they didn't get rid of class, and definitely didn't get rid of the state. So they were 100% not communist and socialism in any way. The USSR, I personally do not like the USSR at all, and yeah, I'm pretty glad that it's gone. However, Putin is like really bad too. Putin is a fascist, 100%. But I do want to say, if it's from this.
I personally come from Europe, so I have seen that.
So you think that works?
I personally don't think that works.
I personally don't think that works.
But they have a socialist wealth distribution. Even countries, they have a capitalistic market, but they have a socialist wealth distribution. And that's why it works over there.
But it works over there.
And I personally come from Europe, so I have seen that.
So you think that works?
I personally don't think that works. I think
she's literally double thinking right now. Holy shit. I feel bad for her. Again, she's too young for this just to come about on its own. She was specifically groomed to think this way. I feel bad for her and people like her.
I think it takes a lot of money from the rich and from the middle class.
My name is Nathan. I'm 18 years old. I would like to ask the other side if they believe America is the greatest country in the world. If they disagree with that, I want to know what country they believe is better than America.
I don't think any country is better than America.
I do believe it's a blessing and it's a privilege to live.
Don't get me wrong. America is way better than other countries out there. But I don't think we're nowhere near to be proud of the country that we live in.
Live in a country that gives you the liberty and freedom and to express who you want to be.
The American dream is dead.
Damn. Know what's going up? Damn. Hey, that's why we like her.
I gotta say, I disagree with the phrase American dream. An American dream for who? You know, the Native Americans we slaughtered, the enslaved people. I mean, this romantic idea that there's this dream is just basically marketing for capitalism. You know, it's very well funded propaganda, and has it inspired good acts and good people to do good things? Of course, because ultimately, in a large sense, humanity is good. But this idea of the American dream, I think, is I think the fantasy of it is being torn apart a little bit, and I think that's actually exciting because it opens up room for something better, something more inclusive to grow.
I think the phrase is kind of corny, but the idea that someone's like building themselves up in capitalism, I feel like that I kind of have done that a bit with my business. So I don't think it's dead.
I do think the American dream is dying, though. You know, the American dream now is not the same as it was 30 years ago. Have a family, buy a home, have a great job, but now it's very difficult to buy a home. Income has not increased compared to the price of a house. You know, I do think it's dying.
Not just the price of the house. The price of every fucking thing. God damn, gas prices are so goddamn high.
Though, but I don't think it's completely dead because there's a lot of immigrants who are still trying to come to America. America does have the highest immigrant population. 14% of our population are immigrants. We have a lot of people on our
Should be higher, but that's good.
Border, and I think they all want to come to America.
Yeah, I think the American dream still exists, and I can speak firsthand because my family came from a third world country. But so does the American nightmare. The people suffering, not just here, but also around the world due to policies, due to exploitation, due to colonization, due to a lot of issues that are directly at hand to America. So there's a lot of blood on the United States' hand. And a lot of people don't want to leave their home country, but the situations that have been created there are forcing people to leave. Like my mother would have loved to stay in Mexico, but unfortunately due to poverty, which had a lot to do with NAFTA and what happened in 1994, directly caused by the United States, issues that created this migration. So is it a better opportunity here? Yes, my people come here and we send our money back to our ancestors. Would we just like to stay where we're from? Yeah, that would be a much better option.
As an immigrant myself, I definitely think that the American dream still exists. We long for the opportunity.
Cucked. That's what she is. Cucked.
That people have here in America, for the job opportunities that people have, the innovations that are available in this free market economy, this capitalist country.
So the American dream is in the eye of the beholder. If you're an immigrant or if you live here, it's different. It's going to be different.
I don't like the idea of the American dream, but I am a person who's still going to always believe in hope. If you work hard and you take advantage of opportunities, you can make a difference in your life. I mean, you're an example of it.
Again, I think his dad 100% helped him a lot for creating his business. I feel like if he was way poor and lived like in the hood or something, I feel like that would be a way bigger achievement for him creating his own business and being pretty successful in it than what he is right now. I guarantee he's in like an upper middle class family who already have like the wealth and resources to like get like a new industry and stuff like that.
So amazed by you. I think it's awesome what you're doing at such a young age. I am very, very impressed with you three. My hope for you is that you stay open-minded and that you're always willing to be learners and not just listeners.
Yeah.
So.
All right, great.
Nah. This guy could be salvaged. These two are lost. They're lost. There's no way. Especially her. She is completely lost, and I feel bad for her. Doesn't mean you shouldn't try to reach her, but I feel like she's just completely lost. She's lost. That was a good video. Again, based blue queen. We always love her. Leftist as well. Makes it extra nice, extra good. And I do think that she did like an amazing job debating against them. And yeah, that was a good video. Really enjoyed that video. Fuck with it. Like it. Hopefully Jubilee won't strike me down for copyright, but who knows. It is capitalism here, so there we go.